Good morning, student. Let's start today's class. Okay. In today's class, we are going to discuss your unit 3, which is communication system. Okay. So, so first of all, let us know about what is the basic communication system. Okay. So, basic communication system. Communication means we. Communication means the process by which we send the data from one end to another end. Okay, let's say you send a message. Okay, or let's say you send a email. Okay, from your mobile to your friend mobile. Okay, so here you are sender and the um, your friend mobile is a receiver. Okay, so this is the process in which, or the process involving of sending your email from your device to your friend device is called, the process is called communication. Okay, here the message or your phone call, your voice, anything. Okay, so this is the message signal. Okay, so here the in the basic communication system. Okay, uh, have three parts. Okay, one is transmitter. Okay, and the second one is transmission of radio wave. Okay, and radio, so third one is radio receiver. Okay, so basic communication system, or the process of basic communication system, can be uh, termed as three parts. Okay, this is the three parts. Okay, now let us discuss about the first part, which is transmitter. Okay, you see, this diagram is the whole uh, communication system. Okay, so here you see this much is transmitter, and this much is radio wave. Okay, and this much is radio wave receiver. Okay, so this is part 1, this is part 2, and this is part 3. Okay, so now let us discuss about the part 1, which is transmitter. Okay, so you see here transmitter have how many parts? One is microphone, one is audio amplifier, one is oscillator, one is modulator, and one is transmitter aerial or transmitter antenna. Okay, so first of all, let's us see the microphone. What is the function of microphone here in the transmitter circuit? Okay, you see, microphone, the function of microphone is that it convert the audio signal or the speech signal to the electrical signal, because whenever you say, or whenever the in your speech, okay, can we directly send the speech signal to the other end? No, because our transmitter or any electronic device can understand only electrical signal. Okay, but our speech signal or audio signal is not a electrical signal. So first of all, we should convert our audio or speech signal to the electrical signal. Then after, we can send that audio signal to the receiver devices. Okay, so this function or this process or this work is done by the microprocessor. Here the microprocessor convert the sound or audio or speech signal into the electrical signal, and thereafter that electric signal going to the audio amplifier. Because whenever you say, let's say you say very slowly, so in the receiver end, to understand the audio, the one minimum range is fixed. Okay, so up to that, up to this range, your audio or speech signal is not uh, capable of reaching. Okay, so here audio amplifier is that. In previous classes we have already seen what is the function of audio amplifier. Okay, audio amplifier raise the power or strength of audio signal. Okay, so it amplify the low signal getting here, and give a high strength signal. Okay, then after high strength signal going to modulator. Okay, and also one oscillator is there. Okay, first of all, before we uh, know about the working of modulator, we should know about the working of oscillator. Okay, oscillator, in previous classes we have already discussed about the oscillator. Okay, what is the function of the oscillator is that oscillator generate a carrier frequency or high frequency signal. Okay, so here oscillator generate a high frequency signal. Okay, and that high frequency signal is used as a carrier in the communication in this communication signal. Okay, so the oscillator oscillator generate a high frequency signal. So here in communication term, oscillator generate a carrier frequency. Okay, or modulating signal. Okay, then that modulating signal and our message signal here in modulator mixed with each other. That means the function of modulator is what the function of modulator is that our message signal is superimposed with the oscillator signal, which is carrier signal. Okay, that means here what happened, here you see here what happened, here a high frequency signal coming here and a message signal coming here. So this signal both added or superimposed. The concept of modulation we discussed after coming classes. Okay, so here you all simply remember that the superimpose means the addition of both the signal, carrier signal and message signal, and the carrier signal is called modulating signal and the message signal is message signal, and after that, after addition, the which signal we get is called modulated signal. Okay, so that modulated signal going to the transmitter aerial. The antenna is, antenna, work of antenna, everyone know that antenna is transmitting the signal to the space or to the air or to the medium. Okay, then after the radio wave. Okay, now this is all about the transmitter signal, this is all about the transmitter section. Now let us see the transmission radio wave. Okay, the transmission radio wave, the transmitter antenna radiate the radio wave in the space in all direction. Okay, these radio waves travel with the velocity of light. Okay, which is 3 into 10 to 8. Okay, the radio wave are electromagnetic wave and possesses the same generation properties. Okay, these are similar to light and heat wave, except that they have a longer wavelength. You don't remember this much, only remember that the radio transmitter wave, that means here what happened, that the antenna transmit our modulated signal which is coming from the modulator and transmit through the uh, wireless medium, which is our space. Okay, our air. Okay, so this is and the modulated signal frequency is in the range of the radio wave. Okay, so the radio wave is transmitted in the space, and in the radio receiver what happened, in the radio receiver, that signal, which signal coming from the transmitter through medium, space medium, or air medium, that received through the radio, the receiving antenna, this is receiving antenna, and that receiving antenna here, after here the process happened is demodulation, the opposite function of the modulator. Okay, modulator is modulated here, mixing of two signal, and but here demodulator extracting or difference of two signal. Okay, so in the receiver end the demodulation happened, and after demodulation we get our original signal. Okay, so this is all about the basic concept behind the communication system. Okay, now let us see what is modulation. Okay, what is modulation and need of modulation. Okay, the modulation is the process of changing some characteristic, that is amplitude, frequency and phase of a carrier wave in accordance with the uh, mm, intensity of the signal is known as modulation. Okay, you know modulation means the changing of the characteristic of message signal. Okay, changing of the changing you see the modulation, the process of changing some characteristic. There is three characteristic. One is amplitude, one is frequency, and one is phase of a carrier wave in accordance with the intensity of the signal. This is message signal is known as modulation. Okay, so why we need modulation? Okay, you know, needing of modulation is due to the practical antenna length. That means whenever we want to send one audio signal which is range between 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz, because the audio frequency range between this much. Okay, so to transmit this low frequency signal, we need a antenna height which is 15,000 meter. Okay, so it is too long, okay, to build an antenna of that much of height. Okay, 15,000 meter means 1.5 kilometer. You know, how can we build a antenna of length 1.5 kilometer? It is not possible. So the ultimate way is to increase the frequency. After that, the antenna height should be decreased. Okay, so whenever you see that whenever we increase the frequency of signal which we want to transmit, the antenna height also and antenna height decrease accordingly. Okay, so here modulation is needed for increasing the frequency of the modulating signal. Okay, and the second need is operating range. Operating range means the energy of a wave depend upon the frequency. Okay, the generator of frequency of the wave, the greater energy possessed by it, and as the audio signal frequency are small, okay, therefore this cannot be transmitted over a large distance. Similarly, if we want to transmit a audio signal, since the audio signal have a low frequency, it cannot transmit over a long distance. It only transmit a short distance. That so that for that problem, we want a high frequency signal which can transmit we over a long distance. So we make a modulation or we do modulation. Okay, similarly wireless communication, similar things. While for wireless communication, due to since we want to send our signal wirelessly, okay, so the wireless communication we need to modulate our, or we need to increase our signal frequency. Okay, then you see what is demodulation. Okay, demodulation is the process opposite to the modulation, because the process of recovering the audio signal from the modulated wave is known as demodulation or detection. Okay, so this is the process opposite to the process of modulation. In modulation, what happened? Addition of the carrier signal and message signal. Here in demodulation, what happened? That added message and carrier signal separate individually. Okay, or separate the both signal. In demodulation, what happened? We separate the carrier signal separately and the message signal separately, and we only want the message signal. That's why we separate the carrier signal from the message signal, because we used carrier signal only for transmitting, okay, a high distance. Okay, so that after receiving at the receiver end, we don't want any carrier signal, we want only the audio signal, the message signal. Okay, so we separate in the demodulation process. Okay, and necessity of the demodulation also, here you see this is the process of demodulation. Okay, or demodulation circuit. Okay, first the receiver aerial. Okay, this is the receiver aerial or antenna receive the signal, and after that station selector. Okay, station selector, you know, in a radio there is a selector, station selector. Okay, which select the required frequency range. Okay, let's say we send the message signal message signal in the frequency range of 20 kilohertz. Okay, 20 kilohertz. So when in the station selector automatically select the 20 kilohertz, okay, range to receive the 20 kilohertz frequency signal. Okay, so it select one station for our uh, receiver. Okay, and here RF amplifier, radio frequency amplifier. Okay, here in the radio frequency amplifier, what happened, the after separating the audio signal, we amplify the audio signal. Okay, due to, because of there is a distortion in the wireless communication, always there is a distortion. So after getting the audio signal from the modulated signal, we amplify the RF signal, okay, radio frequency signal, and we after that the speaker convert the electrical signal into the actual speech signal. Okay, so that's all about your basic communication. And one thing left is the difference between the modulation and demodulation. Okay, you know, first of all parameter देखिएगा difference. Okay, difference definition is that modulation is the process of varying the parameter of of the carrier signal according to the message bearing signal. Okay, this is the definition of modulation. Okay, then demodulation definition is demodulation is the process by which message signal is extracted from the modulated wave. Okay, so now operating end. Okay, modulation operate only at the transmitter end. Okay, and demodulation operate on the receiver end. Okay, now modulation operation is simple. Okay, demodulation operation is complex because it's related to the radio frequency extraction. Okay, so then the frequency transmission. Okay, then frequency transmission means the required frequency to transmit. Okay, sorry, frequency transformation. Okay, frequency transformation here in the transmitter, low frequency converted to high frequency. Okay, and at the demodulation side, high frequency received from the antenna, and after that, after extraction or demodulation, we get to low frequency. So here demodulation high frequency to low frequency, and the modulation low speed signal converted to high modulated signal. Okay, now circuit needed is what, here modulator circuit needed, and in the demodulator circuit or detector circuit needed. Okay, this is the basic difference between the modulation process and demodulation process. Okay, thank you.